With just 5 days remaining until UFC Vegas 108, the event has undergone a dramatic shake-up, and it's not just a small reshuffling. The originally planned main event between flyweight contenders Amir Albaz and Tatsuro Taira has been scrapped, triggering a ripple effect across the entire card. The news broke suddenly, leaving fans and analysts alike scrambling for answers. Now, a new main event has taken shape, featuring one of the UFC's fastest rising stars stepping in on short notice against an undefeated up-and-comer. According to multiple sources confirmed by MMA Fighting, Amir Albaz has officially withdrawn from the card for reasons that have not been publicly disclosed. No injury was announced, no explanation given, just a sudden departure from what was to be a pivotal fight in the flyweight division. It was an unfortunate blow, especially considering the anticipation surrounding Albaz's return after his steady climb into title contention. The matchup against Taira had been billed as a potential title eliminator, or at least a major step forward for the winner. In the wake of Albaz's exit, the UFC acted quickly. Rather than remove Taira from the card or downgrade the bout to a co-main status, they opted to slot in a new opponent and create a fresh headliner in the process. Enter Hyun-Sung Park. Park, the undefeated Korean flyweight who emerged victorious from the Road to UFC tournament, has been tapped to face Taira in the new 5-round main event this Saturday. UFC officials confirmed the new matchup on Monday, setting the stage for what is now one of the most intriguing short-notice main events in recent memory. The turnaround is lightning fast, even by UFC standards. Park wasn't even originally slated to fight on this card, he had been preparing for a different test entirely. His next bout was scheduled for August, against none other than Steve Erceg, a former title challenger and known threat in the division. That matchup was already seen as a major leap in competition for Park, who has looked stellar since joining the UFC roster. But now, the level of difficulty has only increased, and the timeline has tightened drastically. Park, just 10-0 in his professional MMA career, has made a statement in every UFC outing so far. After capturing the Road to UFC flyweight tournament crown, a competition designed to showcase emerging Asian talent and funnel them into the UFC proper, he's rattled off 3 straight wins inside the octagon. Most recently, in May, he dispatched Carlos Hernandez with a vicious first-round submission, demonstrating not only slick grappling but also calm, calculated killer instinct. Park has finished every opponent he's faced in the UFC to date. That finishing ability has earned him a reputation as a must-watch fighter. But stepping into a 5-round fight against a technician like Taira, with less than a week to prepare, is a monumental leap, even for someone riding high on a 10-fight win streak. There's also the weight cut to consider. Making 125 pounds on short notice is no easy task, especially without a full training camp. Park will need to manage both the scale and the mental preparation of stepping into a headline fight against a far more experienced opponent. Originally, Park's focus had been entirely on Erceg, a tough but scheduled battle. Now, the shift to Taira adds an element of unpredictability. Erceg himself is now in limbo, as it's unclear whether he'll remain on the August 9th card or if a new opponent will be found for him in time. That situation remains fluid, and UFC officials have not yet issued a statement on Erceg's status. As for Tatsuro Taira, this fight marks a crucial moment in his career. Once considered one of the most promising flyweight prospects on the roster, Taira suffered the first defeat of his professional career in October 2024 in a grueling 5-round war with Brandon Royval. That loss was a major setback, not just on paper, but emotionally and professionally. Taira had built a flawless resume prior to that night, dispatching opponent after opponent with clinical precision. The Royval fight was different. It tested Taira's stamina, his adaptability, and his mental toughness across 25 brutal minutes. Although he didn't walk away with the win, many saw it as a valuable, if painful, learning experience. And now, he gets the chance to prove he's rebounded from it. Facing a dangerous but relatively untested fighter like Park presents a different challenge. Taira had spent his camp preparing for Albaz, another tactician, but with a much more patient, positional approach. Park, by contrast, tends to throw himself into the fire. He's aggressive, unpredictable, and hasn't had his limits truly tested yet. That volatility makes him dangerous, especially for someone like Taira who's looking to re-establish dominance and avoid back-to-back losses. With the late change, the fight also becomes harder to predict. Game plans go out the window, film study is limited, and both men will likely have to rely heavily on instincts and adaptability. Taira still enters as the more experienced fighter with deeper UFC credentials, but Park's momentum, and lack of pressure, could make him a live underdog. Outside the main event, UFC Vegas 108 has seen several other disruptions. The flyweight bout between Felipe Bunes and Rafael Estevam was reshuffled after Andre Lima was pulled from the fight. No reasons were given for Lima's removal, but Bunes remains on the card with Estevam still set as his opponent. In another blow to the preliminary lineup, Francis Marshall has been removed from his scheduled featherweight clash with Austin Bashi. The entire bout has been scrapped, and at the time of writing, neither fighter has been rebooked for a future card. Finally, heavyweight prospect Torres Finney was forced to withdraw from his scheduled appearance against Azamat Bekoyev. With no last-minute replacement available, Bekoyev has instead been moved to a future event. He'll now face Yusri Belgaroui, a veteran of Dana White's Contender Series, at UFC Vancouver on October 18. All told, UFC Vegas 108 has undergone a series of rapid transformations in just a few days. The card that fans were expecting a week ago looks significantly different now, but in typical UFC fashion, the promotion has managed to salvage the lineup with fresh talent, bold matchmaking, and no shortage of intrigue. The spotlight now rests squarely on Taira and Park, two men with vastly different paths, thrown into the same cage on short notice, fighting for very different reasons. For Taira, it's about redemption. For Park, it's an opportunity to leapfrog the division and announce himself as a serious contender in one night. No matter who comes out on top, the result could have ripple effects across the flyweight division. And for fans, what was once a quietly anticipated fight night now has all the makings of a breakout moment.